Okay, thank you for joining me today, and let's start our weekly session. So, if you're like me and fancy a little stretch before, give yourself permission to do that. I like to stretch, at least stretch my arms. If you happen to have been sitting for a while and you want to get up and shake your legs, do that. Just basically make yourself comfy. And then when you're ready, sitting back down. First, bring your attention to your whole body and the weight of your body, where you are sitting. Just noticing your weight and the points of contact between your body and your seat. And then bringing that awareness a little bit further down into your feet, and there noticing the weight of your feet on the ground and the points of contact between your feet and the floor. Just bringing more consciousness and awareness to our connection to this planet, to the earth. And here, if you wish to, you can set that intention or visualize that you're grounding yourself, that you're growing roots, energetic roots, all the way down to the center of the earth. And then once you've done that, let's bring our attention, our focus, our awareness all the way back up into the area of our chests and hearts. And here, just connecting a little bit more with our hearts. And to do that, you can either place your hand over your heart, or sometimes just tuning in to the sounds or the sensations of your heartbeats in your chest. Sometimes that's enough. And as soon as you're noticing these sensations, you're becoming aware of your own heart. Just imagine or visualize as if your breath is flowing directly in and out through your heart. A little bit as if your heart had a nose. And then just very simply start to breathe a little bit slower and a little bit deeper than you would usually do. So lengthening your in breath that a little bit more and stretching your out breath a little bit more as well. And if you can, trying to have them about the same length. And we're going to breathe like this for about 2 minutes together in silence. And I'll let you know when we are ready for the next step. So you're anchored in your heart, visualizing your breath flowing in and out through the heart, and just breathing a little bit deeper and slower than usual. Another few deep cycles of breath. And now you might have started to experience a sense of calm coming over you. And that is thanks to this slow, heart-centered breath. And in that calm state, first we're just going to remind ourselves of the direction that we have for our future, the direction that we want for our future. So just remind yourself of either the vision that you have for your life, if that is clear, and if not, or if that's a little bit too abstract, maybe remind yourselves of some goals that you have for the near or not so near future. Basically, bringing your awareness to the direction that you are aiming for. And once you've done that, now we're going to contemplate how the week that has just finished, how that week worked out for you. And then we'll basically compare whether that week, if it was going to repeat itself, is it actually bringing you closer to your future, or do you have adjustments to make? So let's start with having our little review. So you can, if that helps, you can imagine that you're somehow floating above your body, and as if you're looking at your timeline for the week that is just past, so that you have a bird's eye view on the events that happened. And from there, just look at the different areas of your life, the different areas that are important to you at least, and get a sense of what worked well and what didn't work as well as you hoped for. And when I say what worked well, just think of it as what you want to nurture, what would you want to maintain, what you want more of, what you've enjoyed, what you've liked, what made you happy. Not just what worked well in terms of results. And even notice, maybe sometimes you achieved some results, but the process that got you there didn't bring you joy. So if that's the case, just notice, and just notice what's important for you in that situation. And then in everything that didn't work as well as you hoped, just see it as, okay, these are the things that I would rather change, that I would rather let go of or course correct. And here as well, notice that sometimes results might not come about and it looks that it didn't work, but maybe in the process that got you there, there was loads of good stuff that you need to take stock of. Maybe the process brought you joy, got you to meet loads of people. So make sure that you don't discard any good things just because the end result didn't work out. So let's do this for another few minutes together, and I'll let you know when we're ready for the next step. Okay. So then, after you reviewed what worked well, what didn't work so well, just ask yourself this question. If a version of the past week was to repeat itself over and over into the future, would it bring you closer to your vision, to your goals, or is it not fully pointing in the right direction? Just get a sense. If things were going to repeat themselves, nothing changes, is that bringing you where you want to be or not quite yet? And here, just welcome any answer as useful information, whether you're on track or not. It's okay, because we're going to start working on adjusting the trajectory. And to do that, let's first ask our imagination, or invite our imagination to come play with us. And we're gonna now have fun imagining the best possible outcomes and scenarios for the week that is starting today. First, imagine yourself being at your best, being in your best possible state and ways of being. You're being productive, you're being joyful, you're feeling in the flow, you're taking decisions and actions effortlessly. So when you are at your best like that, what are you making happen? That's the first thing that you can start to imagine. This week, you're creating an amazing flow. What are you making happen? So all of the things that are directly in your control, how are they turning up? So maybe this is you finishing some projects or starting new ones. Maybe this is you creating new connections with people. Maybe this is you taking maybe decisions that you had been putting off before. Maybe this is you thinking creatively. So just imagine how your week is looking like when you're in such a flow. What would you see? What would you hear? What actions do you see yourself take? And as you imagine yourself making this week a great week, you're going to start noticing that because you're creating such a lovely, positive flow of energy, then people and the world around you start to respond also in positive ways. And you start noticing that things that are not in your direct control are also starting to play out in the best way possible. So when that starts to happen, what do you see? What do you see? What do you hear? What doors might be opening? Who might be contacting you? What good news might you be hearing? What opportunities might be entering your life? And have fun with it. Have fun imagining everything that might come back your way in a positive way tenfold, just because you've inputted such positivity into your world. And as you keep imagining how the world responds to this positivity that you've created, this flow, you can push your imagination a little bit further and just notice that maybe surprises and absolutely unexpected opportunities or synchronicities also start to enter your life. So have a little play with that. What surprises could unexpectedly come into your life, as if sprinkling a little magic onto this week? So again, what magic could possibly be entering your life this week? And now let's set also an intention that some opportunities and possibilities might very well enter our life that are way beyond the current capabilities of our own imagination. That our imagination right now can only dream about things that we know exist or that we're familiar with, and that if and when some opportunities, possibilities knock on our door that look widely unfamiliar, let's have that intention that we will recognize them for what they are, and we will also welcome them into our lives. So let's be ready for stepping into even a different paradigm for life that our imagination itself cannot yet envision. Basically, opening ourselves up to some possibilities that may look like miracles, because we are totally unable to imagine them right now. So once you've done that, now let's notice, let's becoming aware of how we are feeling after imagining the best possible scenarios for the week. Remember, your mind doesn't really know the difference between real or imagined. So for the mind, it may as well just have happened. And that's where we are most likely to experience the emotions that will go with such a positive week. So just notice what it is for you. And it might be very clear, it might be sensations or emotions that you can even name. Or maybe it's more subtle, but this is something you can feel in your body, even though you couldn't quite distinguish exactly what sensation or feeling it is. And either way, it's fine. Either way, we're going to make them more potent, more powerful. And to do that, I'm going to invite you now to imagine as if these sensations, these feelings, these emotions are also flowing in and out through your heart with each breath. So on your in-breath, just feel these sensations entering your body, where you can feel them with even more intensity and vibrancy. And on your out-breath, feel or imagine as if these sensations are flowing out from your heart and radiating into the space around you and in front of you. And with each cycle of breath, these sensations get stronger and stronger. Every time you breathe in, these sensations enter your body through your heart. And it's as if they're filling up your body, filling up your tank. And every time you breathe out, imagine those sensations flowing out and shining all around you and in front of you, as if they're coming out from your heart like a light that is illuminating the space around you. And with each cycle of breath, these sensations become stronger and stronger. They become stronger and stronger to a point where they can hardly be stronger than that. And they're so powerful that your heart is now ready to project them like a laser beam. So again, using your imagination, just visualize as if starting from your heart, radiating from your heart, this light, these sensations are projected like a laser beam right into the space in front of you. And this laser beam is so powerful that it is opening up, carving out a space, a portal, a door right in front of you. And you know that this portal is a very special one. It's a portal in time and space that opens up onto the best possible version of the week that is starting today. It's opening up to a version of the week that is perfectly aligned with your vision, with your goals, with the energy and the sensations that are themselves aligned with your goals. So now I'm going to invite all of us in our mind's eyes to imagine that we are taking a few steps forward and taking a step through the portal. And as we step through the portal, we know that the past, the timeline behind us is just dissolving. There is no going back. And now we're fully into this new version of our reality, this new version of the week. And we're taking our first steps into it. And so as you imagine yourself starting to walk on this new path, this new timeline, this new version of reality, take a moment to just soak in this moment and enjoy and feel the connection with these new possibilities that are now present into your awareness. And just taking a few deep breaths. Every time you breathe in and out, you're breathing in new air filled with new possibilities. Filled with possibilities that you were not able to see before, but now you are. And to anchor yourself even further into this new version of reality, allow yourself again to imagine. If you are a visual person, you might be seeing things in a different way. You might be seeing colors differently. They might be more vibrant. And if you're an auditory person, you might hear sounds in a different way. Maybe the sound is more clear. Maybe you hear certain voices. And maybe if you're more kinesthetic, just imagine as if you're touching something into this new reality, and you can feel the sensations on your hands of what you've just touched. All of this to making you fully aware and convinced that you are now in this new version of your path. And just notice how you feel. In this state of expansion and connection with new possibilities. And we are going to want to remember that feeling of expansiveness, connectedness with the new version of ourselves. And to make sure we will remember for the remainder of the week, we are going to create a little memory device. We're going to create an anchor, a physical anchor, which is just a very simple gesture like touching your thumb and index finger together, so that at any time during the week, whenever you feel you need to remind yourself of where you are and the possibilities that you have access to, all you'll need to do is using that anchor. So touching your fingers again, or any other gesture or movement that you've chosen. So first, maybe just decide what anchor you're going to use. Maybe it's just touching two fingers together. Maybe it's just taking a deep conscious breath. Maybe it's just rolling your shoulders back. Whatever it is for you, just choose what's your favorite anchor. And now, as you're bringing your attention again on how you're feeling, this beautiful expanded state of connection with new possibilities, just apply this anchor. So if you chose to touch your fingers, do it now. And whichever other anchor you may have chosen, do it now. And as you are applying your anchor, you know that you are now fully locking in this new state into yourself. Your mind is now going to remember it with accuracy, and it's also locked into the fabric of the universe. It's like this is your signal to the universe that yes, you are connected and ready, willing, and able to open up to everything that is possible. Okay, so now you can release your anchor, knowing that you will notice for the rest of the week all of these moments of flows and moments of synchronicities that will keep confirming that you are indeed on your most aligned timeline, your most aligned path to your vision. And so take a few last deep breaths before starting to bring yourself back. And to do that, We will just rub our hands together until they're warm. Then place them at the top of our heads and proceed to touch every part of our body as if we want to remind ourselves of the boundaries of our physical body. So starting with the head and down the neck, the shoulders, your arms, and then the front of your body, your torso, your abdomen, and the sides of your body, your rib cage, down to your hips, your back as well, as much as you can reach, of course. And then from your hips, down your thigh, your knees, your legs, and all the way down to your feet, if you can touch your feet. But if you cannot, it's okay, just press your feet into the ground again. And just feel that connection with the earth one more time, anchoring yourself and even giving a thought of appreciation and thank you to the earth for allowing even our existence on this plane. And once you've done that, then whenever you're ready, open your eyes again. Thank you so much. Well done. And so to everyone who's been listening to this recording, I hope you had a good session and I will see you next week. Bye.